5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the 323's Top 5.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yes, this is the top 5 hottest seats in the NFL, according to me, Reid Murphy, on the 323 Sunday Hangover. I got a couple of OLIs here, Scott.
Okay.
OLI, it's not quite on there yet, but I don't know. As this Monday night game goes on,
Yeah, I'm watching that.
Titans, Will Levis is on my hot seat watch, just on the OLI. He's not there yet. It's like lukewarm. The seat isn't hot yet. But, he's had one of those games. Mason Rudolph is in there right now. Will Levis threw an interception almost instantly going into the game. He's been very openly shit on by his coach for a couple weeks, too, which is, a little hard to see. But, you got to do what you got to do. The only thing with Will Levis is, one, he has personality. And the Titans have nothing going on for them.
Yeah.
You might as well just suck with Will Levis and all of his Hellman's commercials.
Hey, easy.
I'm sorry. Careful. I like mayo too. I put it on a BLT. That's half of me. That's the half that you can see on my palm. Will Levis' seat is a little warm. It's just a little warm. Mason Rudolph's in there. If Mason Rudolph wins this game, that seat's hot, baby. You'll be seeing yourself on the top 5 next week.
He's a Vrabel guy, right?
He is a Vrabel guy. Yeah, he was drafted.
Yeah. I mean, and you see that time and time again. You get a new regime coming in. It's like, you weren't my draft pick, so like, why should I feel invested into you at this point? So it's not shocking that Mason Rudolph's in there. And Mason Rudolph's shown that he can be competent. When it's the time in Pittsburgh, and took the
Steelers to the playoffs last year. Yeah.
I mean, it's all I can get worse.
Right.
Malik Willis isn't there anymore. It can't get worse.
No, it literally can't. Or actually, it looked like it could have gotten better from Malik Willis in Green Bay. But he's not on there. He's an OLI. And somebody else who's not hot, he's not even lukewarm yet. The best thing I would call for this guy is I turned on the burner on the stove. I turned on the burner on accident for the wrong burner. And it just like clicked a little bit, and then I clicked it back. So you know that it can get hot. You know what's there.
Yep.
But it hasn't gone yet. That is for Shane Steichen of the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh.
He's not, like I said, I just turned on the burner and turned it right back off. But this is all because of a fireable strike that I give him for what he did yesterday with Anthony Richardson, where you saw Anthony Richardson get visibly hurt. He was not feeling good. He got injured. Was able to come back into the game. So what does Steichen do on the very first play that Richardson's back? He calls a play-designed quarterback run for an injured Anthony Richardson, who then gets more injured and is out the rest of the game. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do this? So that's a strike, buddy. I've got you. Just know my hand is on the clicker. And I will turn that shit. But you're not on there yet. No, the top 5 on here. Number 5, Scott, I'm going to give it to you. I like the guy. I respect him. He's like up there with Dick LeBeau in terms of great defensive coordinators of all time in the NFL. But Vic Fangio, you're number 5 on the hot seat list.
Not Vic.
Defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, who I didn't know was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles till about 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
I didn't know he was still in the league. Shout out to Fangio, but man, it's not looking good in Philly, buddy. I don't know what's going on with that defense. You got talent there. You got a lot of talent, but they're not. You're getting spiked on by every team now in this league. You can't be putting up these points. They need to be holding up. It's a lot of hot seats in Philly in general. Every seat is hot except for Big Dom's. But I think Fangio is the hottest because one of those coordinators is getting fired before Sirianni.
Yeah.
Sirianni is 100% firing one of them and using them as a scapegoat. And I think Fangio is just that guy. Unfortunately.
Well, and Kellen Moore's the OC, right? In Philly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Poor
and
Kellen.
He's gonna protect the other young white dude. He's gonna protect him. Kellen Moore is gonna be like slinging Philly cheesesteaks to make it look like he's part of the crowd. He's gonna get the Italian flag on his jacket like Sirianni.
he's gonna get an NIL deal with Wawa or some shit.
Yeah, old Vic, old Coach Fangs. You're number 5. Number 4 on here is in the front office. Is GM Trent Baalke of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Terrible GM in San Francisco. I'll just say it straight up. He was there during the Harbaugh days, but he made some bad choices. Since he's gotten to the Jaguars, I think it's been bad choice after bad choice. I don't know.
You good?
Fuck the mute button.
I was going to say, there was a mute button there for whatever reason.
I don't. Oh, now you looked up. There you go.
He found the mute button.
No, Trent Baalke, I think, has made a lot of terrible decisions with the Jaguars. I think one of the biggest this season was letting Calvin Ridley go. I don't know why you get Calvin Ridley in that trade with Atlanta and then just let him walk. I know he got a shit ton of money from Tennessee, but that's a weapon for your quarterback who you're trying to get his confidence and you're trying to make him great. You look at what the Miami Dolphins did with Tua. Tua was pretty rough before Mike McDaniel got there. They went out of their way to go get Tyreek Hill to add him with Jalen Waddle, and you have like something special. You give your franchise quarterback as many weapons as he can get. Why let Calvin Ridley go? Why let some of your O-line options go? Why put some of the money into that defense that you know is not that solid, not that great? They didn't do that much shit for you last season. I don't know some of the choices that this guy makes, but get rid of Trent Baalke. He's going to go with Doug Pederson anyway. He's not going to choose the next head coach. Shad Khan's pissed at everybody. He's number 4. Number 3, your favorite, Scott, our favorite at Gus's, quarterback Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns. Fuck that dude. Any other place, any work environment, he'd be fired. Just for the accusations alone. But not only with the accusations, you have terrible performance at work. He is not performing well. He is making common mistakes. He just had one of the most recent quotes where he's an athletic quarterback, right? He's a run style quarterback who, when asked by reporters, are you going to try to run the ball a little more? Are you going to try to do more quarterback design runs? What's his answer? I'm not a running back. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? And he talks with all this confidence of knowing that his contract is guaranteed and they can't get rid of him. Like, they would have to
untouchable HR issues.
He is. And they just have to bankrupt their team to get rid of him. It's a sad sight. He needs to be fired. He's got a hot seat. I know you said the locker room's turning on him. That was a.
You found it, folks.
For those in the business, that was a soft cue for Scott to talk while I choke. And he gave me a nice nod on the audio platform. Number 2, we talked about him a little bit. Number 2, number 1, you're gonna know it. The number 2 hot seat in the NFL, Robert Saleh of the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers is coming for your ass, buddy. It's Hackett season. Number 1. Who is it, Scott? You know who it is.
Kevin Stefanski.
Doug Pederson. Although Kevin Stefanski, I don't think that he should be on there. We've talked plenty about Doug Pederson. We know where he's going.
Yeah.
It's a hot seat there. Kevin Stefanski is an interesting one in Cleveland because I don't think that this is his fault. I don't think that what's happening there is naturally his fault. I mean, everything else, even with the GM, like the Deshaun Watson trade and signing was bad enough, but like everything else on the Browns to me is impressive. I like that team overall. I like Kevin Stefanski as a head coach. He's a 2-time coach of the year with Cleveland. And I don't think it's his fault, but unfortunately, you're right that he might wind up getting, the scapegoat severed head treatment for Cleveland, a franchise known for perpetual bad decisions, to try and make this Deshaun Watson thing work and then have Watson pick the next head coach who will be like fucking Brian Flores or something.
Right. I was just about to say, if you're the Browns front office and you're looking at it from a 1,000-foot view, it's like, who can I get rid of? I can't get rid of Deshaun. I can get rid of Kevin. You know, even though, they signed him what was it? He just signed that extension not too long ago. Him and the general manager, Andrew Barry, they signed an extension, I want to say, over the summertime. But it's it could happen. I mean, there's no massive, I'm sure there's a buyout somewhere in there. Like you said, 2-time AP Coach of the Year there in Cleveland. It's just someone's got to go, and it's going to come down to who's going to be the cheaper option.
I'm convinced that coaching and front office extensions mean next to nothing when it comes to firing, because it seems like coaches get these extensions just to avoid bitching out. But I never see a coach do a holdout. I would love to see a coach holdout from a team for a new contract, just like Brandon Ayuk did.
Listen, and I'll just real quick with the Browns, their schedule does not look fun for the rest of the season. Like you said, they're at Washington this coming week. Then they're on the road again against the Eagles. And then they're at home against the Bengals, Ravens, Chargers, Saints, Steelers, Broncos, Steelers, Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Ravens. Do you even see them going 500 over that span?
No, I don't. I truly
this
don't.
schedule is scary. Now that we're 4 games, and this is the same drawing parallel to College Shame Day, that like I don't like trying to rank teams, and I like trying to wait a couple weeks to feel out where everyone's at. But like now that we're a month into the NFL season, it's just like at the beginning of the year, yeah, some of these teams I would say these are very winnable games. But now, I mean, the Steelers are catching fire, and you have them around Thanksgiving, and then you play them again 2 weeks later, and then you still have 2 individual games on the road against the Bengals and the Ravens pushing into the playoffs. So it's like this is a very scary schedule for them.
And it's one of those things where, Baltimore started off slow, but they've woken up. Like they are looking like the Baltimore we were predicting them to be. Pittsburgh is seemingly better than we expected them to be with Justin Fields now at quarterback. Fields is outperforming all expectations. Yeah. And Cincinnati is 1-3, but there's still Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson on the other side. Like it's still a formidable enough team that do you trust Deshaun Watson and his performance and work ethic against that?
Right. And like you made a point earlier in the show, I forget what team you mentioned it about, but they're 4-0 right now. And it's kind of like a sneaky 4-0, like they really shouldn't have it, or 3-0, whatever it is. But with the Bengals, like they're 1-3, but I don't have them as a 1-3 team.
Right.
Like the Joe Burrow and Cincinnati, they've traditionally year in and year out have always started slow, and they eventually catch a fire later on as the season goes on. It's a very well-rounded team. It's very well coached. I have all faith in what's going on in Cincinnati for them to claw up and get back into the running in the AFC North. But like the Browns, as much as I love the team on defense, I think they're just pigeonholed and keeping Deshaun Watson, and they have no other option.